You're going to tell me what you just said.
So this isn't just a job to us, it's so much more than that. It pays the bills, don't get me wrong, but it's everything to us. We don't do this job because we want to. We do it because we're making a difference. It's long, it's draining, it's emotional, but it means everything to us.
We're going to prison, but we're not going to be able to film, I imagine.
No. I had a life before prison, I had a good life, and then the things happened, and then so it was sort of like getting back on track and getting my life together. So, but yeah, the recycling lives been brilliant.
Good morning. It is early in the morning. I am being driven by a chief executive, actually, and an OB, no less, as Alistair Jackson. He's a chief executive of Recycling Lives charity, of course. Is a sponsor, proud sponsor of Beagles United, and we go back a long way, don't we?
We do. 30 years.
He was the first person I ever saw when I came to England, and his dad, Archie. But we are going to prison, and I want to explain this in detail because this Coffee with Guillem is about Recycling Lives and the absolutely wonderful job they do. But yeah, have to get it out a little bit early in a day that's a little bit wet to actually start the day. Go on, where is it we're going, Alistair?
So we're on the way to Kirkham Prison, which is just a bit down the coast from Blackpool, in between Blackpool and Preston. And this is a Category D, what's classed as an open prison. So in England you've got Category A, B, C and D. A is the highest category security, D is the lowest. And effectively what an open prison is, it's a prison, but the men or the women in it are really close to reintegration and release, and they've been risk assessed through the system. So some are allowed to go out on what's called day release and work. So they will live, eat, sleep in the prison, but during the day they'll go out and do a day's work to get that experience to help them reintegrate society better. And statistics show if you get the opportunity to do this, reoffending drops massively if you get a day release job.
Right, who are Recycling Lives? There's the charity side and there's the business side, and that's linked how to the prison?
The business side has contracts to deliver recycling contracts, so it has contracts with councils and private companies. And the charity, we run workshops in various prisons and we carry out the recycling. So for example, in Kirkham where we're going, we have 2 workshops that recycle TVs. So TVs that the public have thrown out. We get them, take them into the prison, we run workshops, we recycle them, and then the stuff gets reused. And the men or the women, depending on which prison it is, they are lifting their self-esteem, creating a work ethic, which really, really helps on their journey when they leave. And then the charity, we have a full wraparound team helping with anything you can think of, accommodation, employment, pastoral needs, anything really to help people get on their feet again, with the aim of reducing reoffending when people come out. So there's a lot of people that leave prison will reoffend within 12 months. It's a really high figure, over 50% I think. For a Recycling Lives charity programme, it's 5%, so we have a really good success rate.
So there used to be barracks.
Yeah, it used to be an RAF base, yeah.
We're going to prison, but we're not going to be able to film, I imagine.
No, not allowed to prison. Not allowed to film in prison for obvious reasons. Security, privacy. So, yeah, we could talk about it.
And then come back and report back to you. So, see you in a bit.
1 hour later.
Right, we've been to prison. And I found it fascinating. I don't know where to start.
We've walked through an open prison and we've gone to a Recycling Lives charity workshop, and what you've seen in there is us fulfilling recycling contracts. So we recycle about 100,000 tallies a month in our various workshops. So you've seen serving prisoners, recycling those tallies, getting those tallies and all of the recycling ready, driving forklifts, being trained. But also what you've met is some of the team, key workers, specialist support workers who work with the men to identify what their needs are, what their next steps are for when they come out. So you've also had a chat with some of the lads, and you might want to talk about that without going into too much detail.
They seem to be very happy being there, working for you. They all very committed to the job they're doing, and they've all heard of you very early on when you come in. That's important, that when they they come to prison, they know that there is a way for them to again adjust. You do open days for them. They get to hear about it, and they subscribe. In fact, there's a queue of people that wanted to subscribe for you. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and it's important that we interview everybody before they come in, but the interview is not about whether you can recycle TVs or whether it's kind of work stuff. It's what help you need. So we're kind of selecting people who need that help and really want to turn their lives around. That's the important thing for us. So we can train you to recycle stuff.
The people that work for you are passionate about it. It's for a reason. It's because they get something out of it as well as a wage, and that's very pleasing to see. I'll let you drive. We are in an industrial estate.
Yes, in Preston.
In Preston. Doing what? Where are we going to see?
So we go into our food redistribution warehouse that we run alongside FareShare, a national organisation that looks to combat two issues in this country. On one hand, we've got food surplus, food that just goes in the bin, never gets used, with millions of tonnes that get wasted every year. On the other hand, we've got so many people in this country struggling with food poverty, and that's even people who are working. It's not just people who aren't working. So what FareShare does is try to bring those two issues and meet in the middle. We as Recycling Lives charity run the two counties of Lancashire and Cumbria. We've got a warehouse here. We get food in from manufacturers, retailers, growers, and then we get it out to about 170 community groups across the two counties. It might be a food bank, it might be a social supermarket, it might be a school breakfast club. People who really need that food. So we redistribute, watch yourself here, we redistribute about 3 million meals worth a year. So we're going to go in and have a look and meet the team and see how it works.
Laura, are you the boss? Yes. So you're going to guide me through a little bit what's here.
Yes, so what goes on here is the collection side. So we have a collection model and a delivery model. So we deliver to Cumbria and Lancashire CFMs can collect from here. So CFMs is community charities. So they'll come to the door and collect.
Yeah.
So all the pages you can see here, just down the back there and all down this side here.
Yeah.
Are all coming for collection today.
Collection today, yeah.
Yeah. So they'll come to the door and say their name. Then
Yeah.
we give them a cage, so all in here is ambient. Then you've got a chill cage just stored over there, and then we've got a freezer food as well.
Yeah.
So it's
Massive,
just
this.
like that'll come.
Look at that. FareShare made their own soup.
Oh wow, okay.
So they took sweet potatoes that would have gone rotten,
They just made it a soup.
and then they've done a deal and they've made some soup. So these are
Yeah,
going out. That's
that's
kind of
cool.
cool, isn't it?
It's done well.
Yeah.
Sweet
Sean
potato soup.
loves the soup.
Sean, who is our warehouse coordinator.
That's Sean. Hello, Sean.
Yeah, let me just move this.
You busy?
You alright? Yeah, always. Always busy in this warehouse.
Laura was saying that you've been working for
Recycling.
recycling.
Well, originally Recycling Lives through the academy in Kirkham. That's where I started there. Oh gosh, when was that? Back in 2018.
Okay.
Started in Kirkham, the academy. So that was dismantling the TVs, and then I was able to come out to work from Kirkham prison. So I was working on the main recycling plant over there for about a while. Then I found out about the residential programs they do. I like what FareShare does, and from what we do with the food and who gets it. So eventually, after I did 10 months in the residential, they got me a job here. Operations coordinator,
Okay.
big title, so I do that and I love it here. It's brilliant, but everything that Recycling Lives has done for me has been fantastic because I relocated from my original place where I lived, so they've helped me along every step, and the support I've had off them has been fantastic.
So where were you mentally, say, when you first joined the Mean, and where are you now?
Well, I went into prison back in 2008. I served 12 and a half years. I did a long sentence. So mentally, it was tough. But when I started working with Recycling Lives, there's a lot of support there. I don't know if you met Neil Flanagan yet.
No.
He runs the residential programme.
That's coming next.
Yeah, that's coming next. So I had a lot of support off him and Rob Thackeray, who was also in the residential programme. So they've helped me along the journey, just to get sort of like balanced, you know, because when you've been in prison for a long time, it's tough. Because
when you come out, it's like the world is an enemy, no?
Yeah, I had a life before prison, I had a good life, and then the things happened, and then so it was sort of like getting back on track and getting my life together.
Where are we?
We're at the residential of Recycling Lives, so it's a temporary accommodation.
And what do you do here?
What do I do here? We haven't got that long. I oversee the guys, so we visit the guys in our workshops in prison, and then they can make a decision about their own journey in life. This isn't for everybody. It's a 12-month process through a 6-stage process. So we start off with basics. We give everybody identity, which is a provisional license. They might not use it, but we encourage the guys to have driving lessons when they have some money. We start from the bottom and we get everybody ready for independent living over 12 months. Some guys come in with a work ethic. Some guys have never worked because they've had problems through their lives. So it's a bit of a respite for them also, just to get everything in order, ready for independent living.
So you were saying earlier off camera that this is not a hostel, this is a home. You're preparing a home for them.
It's not a hostel. It's supported accommodation, but we want it to be somebody's home. We want them to enjoy the time here and get as much out of it as they can. They've got to give 100% and we will give as much as. So we offer the best facilities.
Okay, so should we look around?
Yeah.
Meet me down by the water. Escape the crowd so we can be alone. 'Cause lately days are feeling shorter. Before we know it, the summer will have gone. But I know somewhere we can go. Maybe we should skip the winter. This town is far too crowded for us now. 'Cause lately it's getting colder, but it's warmer when you are around. Yeah, I know somewhere we can go. Meet me down by the water. Escape the crowd so we can be alone.
So we've got a dining table.
Yep.
So all the guys will eat at night. They'll prepare meals together. You've got some guys again who are great cooks, some guys who aren't, so we all work together. We have a resident rep who oversees at night, who organises everybody. Everybody has a chance to do that, and in that weeks as the rep, he will get an extra part of his allowance that goes into his savings account, so when he can move on, he has a pot of money, and then we help the guy set up the new home. So this is just extra money for them, but it also gives them a bit of responsibility. Everybody works together, so really you could say that we don't really need a resident because everybody wants to be here and everybody's working hard, but it's good because it gives everybody a chance. And like I said to you, we've never had a fight in it. So you've got guys from all walks of life, and it is male, so yeah. So you've got a couple of pool tables.
Pool tables, yeah.
So this is a 6-stage process, 2 months a stage, and we go through it. Not as much as we used to, but we're still, at the end of every stage there was training, but we've realised now that a forklift truck on month 10, if we have a guy that's doing really well and he's showing a lot more aptitude, and also if he's also got his forklift licence, we can renew it right at the beginning. So it depends on the guy.
What's this?
Well, that was just a thank you. I gave a school a lot of footballs that were going to be scrapped, so they just sent a that's what it was. We've also got letters from families. We are a big encourager about contacting your family. So as you can appreciate, some people have never had contact with their families for years because they've been to prison or they've been homeless or they've just lost contact. We encourage the contact and we'll help. That letter is from Christine. She sent it about a son who's had 18 years and he works for United Utilities now. He's got a family, amazing guy. And we see him about every 2 months. He nips in to see me, but he works for United Utilities, so we have a lot of guys like that.
Yeah.
I put this at the end of the corridor. I put a piece of paper down and I said to a previous cohort of residents, write something on that will give encouragement to somebody. So they wrote on, it's like tips for new residents, but a lot of commercial people have been around on the commercial tours and they said they love the marketing, they love everything. Who does it? And I told them the residents and they said it can't be. But whoever writes, crack on, do your best.
Yeah, true.
So it's just gives people a bit more. The laundry, we encourage the guys to use them, even ironing. That's been there for about 10 years now.
In the same place, eh?
Yeah, same place. So each individual guy will have a key card. This room's ready for an occupant, as all the rooms are. All brand new bedding. When a guy leaves, he'll take all his bedding with him, all his towels, and we'll put new towels, new bedding on. All the bedding's different. I don't want it uniformed. This is somebody's personal space. We ask the guys not to come in everybody in each room. There's the living suite to meet up and chat, but this is a bit of time out. Everybody gets a welcome pack. Any more clothes, socks, underwear, we will go and buy them from. It's just assessing what the guy needs at the beginning. So when a guy comes out of prison, he's got a beautiful room, ready to go. So we put it at a high standard so that when people come in, they're shocked, because when they've been in prison or they've been homeless, they look after the room and they're proud of it, and they are ambassadors for Recycle Lives. Whatever they do, they're ambassadors for the charity.
Right, it's time for a coffee. Oh, Laura, thank you very much for sorting me out.
I'll be thinking, just reminiscing about these memories.
So where are we, Katarina?
So we are now in the training kitchen and the cafe area.
Okay.
So over there, this is the kitchen area that serves the cafe.
Yeah.
And that's ran by Tom.
Hello, all right.
And then on this side, we've got the training kitchen, and this is managed by Mike.
Mike, you all right?
Hey, you alright?
So this is where you prepare everyone to be.
Magic happens.
And most of the people that come here, they don't have much of.
Any kitchen experience whatsoever, some of them.
Yeah.
some of them had never even boiled an egg, which is why our first week 1, is teaching them all about eggs.
Oh, okay.
And how to make the perfect poached egg and the perfect scrambled egg.
Okay.
So yeah.
You were a trained chef?
Yeah, I've got 26 years experience
Okay.
of chefing in all different types of industries within
Okay.
hotel. I worked for New Climate for 15 years.
It feels a bit different this because you're also helping people, does it? Or?
Yeah, no, it's massively rewarding because it feels like you're giving back. You
Yeah.
know, I've learned so much off so many different chefs in my life. And it's finally a great way of giving that information back.
So, Tom, I want to introduce you to Tom.
Yeah. Tommy, all right?
So, Tom actually joined us. He signed up to one of the cooking courses. How long ago was that?
It was January 2022, I believe,
So,
yeah.
and he's been here ever since. We figured we might as well pay him and give him a job now.
All right.
So yeah, I did the 8-week Jamie Oliver course. I hadn't really worked in a professional kitchen. I sort of had an interest in it, working with food and that. And I'm in recovery myself through alcohol and drug addiction. So I got me sent here through a Facebook page and did the 8-week course. I asked Mike at the end of it if there was any extra that I could do, and he said, well, there's volunteering opportunities here. So I was like, yeah, I'll jump through that, because I could see myself slipping back into my old ways, being back at home. Yeah, I mean, I had no purpose, nothing to do, I was unmotivated. So I started at Recycling Lives, and I've just been here every day, 4 days a week. I love it.
Right there, we've got our community cafe. So the
this is the
community cafe is open
Alright.
to members of the public, community groups, there's support groups that are run from here, and every Wednesday we also run a soup kitchen from Street Home Loves.
Okay.
So we launched that last week. We gave out 99 meals on our first evening, so we're expecting that to get bigger and better going forward.
Brilliant.
So this isn't just a job to us, it's so much more than that. It pays the bills, don't get me wrong, but it's everything to us. We don't do this job because we want to, we do it because we're making a difference.
You've got a spring in your feet in the mornings when you come
Yeah,
to work, I suppose.
definitely, yeah.
That's
It's
great to hear.
long, it's draining, it's emotional, but it means everything to us.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is just get in the back, because they're made of toughened plastic. Just make a hole in the back there, then we can get straight down in where the brass is. Excuse the banging. And that's us in, that's the back off. And then basically everything's empty inside. What's inside is we've got pure bit of brass, another bit of brazed brass and copper, and a circuit board with a display screen on that we need to take off, because again we keep those separately, and then all the green circuit over there.
My name's Andy. Recycling Lives found me after 6 weeks in jail and said, look, at the end of the day, come and work for us. Now, I'd never had a real proper job. I know that sounds strange. I've always been, had my own businesses, my own ideas, that sort of thing. And coming to work for them changed my life very quickly within Recycling Lives. Gave me a reason to get up in the morning, 7:30, get to work for 8:30. And it was great, work all day, and you went back and you were tired. And that was the best thing possible for me in jail. And they worked for me right the way through my time in jail, offering me different positions within Recycling Lives. And then out of the blue, I got released out of jail. Recycling Lives offered me 3 different jobs. Came along, had a couple of interviews, went well, they offered me the position, and since then it's been sweetness and light, if you like.
Alistair, you were telling me a story that kind of encapsulates everything that Recycling Lives is. And have we got the story in front of me?
Yeah, this is Brammers. One of the things we've developed over the years is when we first started, none of us had walked in the shoes of the people that we work with. And something that's happened today to Brammers encapsulates how a person can completely turn their life upside down for the better and end up helping the people that are in that place that they once were.
My name's John. Brammers, as Alistair said, is my work nickname based on my surname. I am 50 odd years of age now, and I am a recovering alcoholic. Most of my life I was a functioning alcoholic, very, very successful functioning alcoholic in my career, as it were, in a former life as a salesperson. But like any addict with a history of substance use, over a period of time, you can't hide it from everybody, you can't hide it from yourself, you can't hide it from the world, you can't hide it from your employers, and you certainly can't hide it from your family. And sooner or later, rather than sooner in my case, the wheels began to fall off. And when I tell my story, sometimes I refer to it as the yets. I'm okay because, all right, this has happened, but that hasn't happened yet. Or this has happened, but I've not done that yet. And over a period of time, over the years, these yets kept happening and various things started to go wrong. And I chose to ignore it because everything else was okay, or seemingly okay, and I seemed to be managing it. And I was ignoring the problem. Culminated in 2015 in me going to prison for a silly, it was serious, it was a custodial offence obviously, but it was an alcohol related incident. I got involved in something, there was an assault, I got a suspended sentence and continued to not learn my lesson and carry on. A short time after that, I got involved in something else, and something even more trivial, but unfortunately was overheard threatening to kill somebody, which landed me in trouble. I didn't mean it, you never do, but it was overheard. I ended up in the wrong place, in front of the wrong magistrate, in fact the same magistrate who had given me the suspended sentence 6 months earlier. And she quite rightly realised that I hadn't learned my lesson, and she decided to do something about it and gave me the biggest sentence that she possibly could, relevant to what I'd done. So I went to prison for 6 months, which was very, very scary. And during that stay, that short, sharp stay, I ended up, the last 2 months of those 6 months, I ended up on a recovery wing called G Wing in Preston Prison. And something in there clicked. I got something, that was my final yet. The next yet was, my final one had been, I'm okay, I haven't gone to jail yet. And then of course, now I am in jail. The only one left was I'm okay, I'm not dead yet. And that was the next one, that was what was going to happen. So I had to do something about my life. Something clicked in there, and I came out on Christmas Eve 2015. Went to stay in an approved premises, because technically I was a high-risk prisoner because of what I'd done. Hadn't got a clue what was going on, but I had to start from scratch. Very, very lucky, was introduced to an organisation called the ACE Project by my probation worker and by an organisation called Revolution at the time, which is a police and probation-led organisation, which I'll come back to in a minute because it's kind of relevant. Didn't know what was going on, but was told to go to this thing called the ACE Project, so I did, because I was basically going to do anything not to go back to prison. Got involved with them, and they support ex-offenders and help them stay out of prison. So I worked with them for about 2 years as a volunteer, and then became what they call an ambassador for them. Set up a peer support group called the MAP group, which stood for Men or Members After Prison, which was, as I say, a collection of ex-offenders who basically, again, had the same ethos as me in that they didn't want to go back to prison. The difference being they had had a lot of time in jail. They had done some seriously bad things and had spent collectively considerable amount of time away. So I kind of bonded with them. We put this group together. That worked quite well. We started doing workshops. We would go into schools and colleges and universities and things like the Prince's Trust and work with young people who might be coming off the rails a little bit and share our stories and experiences with them. And that was good because we had a variety of backgrounds to the people that were working with this group. And over the 2 years that I was with them, my sobriety continued to grow. I got my driving licence back, and a family member kindly donated me a car to use. Quite poignant really, because the family member that donated me the car was the same family member that I threatened to kill. And my sister gave me a car to use, and when she did that, I applied for 5 jobs. One of them I got an interview and I took. That was working for the Salvation Army over in Blackburn in a homeless hostel. That was the first time I'd done anything like this sort of work. Previously I'd been involved in sales in my previous career. So I took that. They took a chance on me. That worked for both parties. I did very, very well with them. I worked for them for 4 years, ended up specialising in substance use and recovery because of where I'd come from and supporting people with that. And because I had the connection, the fact that I'd been in prison, I could relate to some of the people that were staying with us. So that was a key factor, I think, in them giving me the job. I was with them for 4 years. I stayed in touch with the ACE Project, and 2 years ago the ACE Project got involved with Recycling Lives. At the time that they did, the chap who is now my boss, Gary, who had been one of the support workers when I was there, we'd stayed in touch, and I was working with some clients that he'd been working with, and they were living with me in the accommodation that I ran and working with the ACE Project. So he said that Alistair had approached the ACE Project and he'd been made the manager. Would I like to apply for his job? I wasn't looking for another job, but the chance to come back and work for the ACE Project was good. What tipped me, and I'm not just saying it because Alistair was in the room, but what tipped me was the fact that they were joining with Recycling Lives, because I knew the limitations of what previously the ACE Project couldn't have done, and I saw an opportunity for them to grow and me to come back and do what I've been doing in the past. So yeah, I came for the interview, got offered the job, and we started 2 years ago. 2 years in September I started. So I'd kind of come back full circle. Just to complete that full circle, obviously the thing that Alistair's referring to that's happened today, again, thanks to Alistair, he opened a door for us. The ACE Project had always gone into Preston Prison, historically, and we've been basically working for a year now to get me to go back into Preston Prison. I have been going back into the prison for a year, but not on a key holding or drawing key facility because of security hurdles and loopholes. Quite right, who would want to give an ex-prisoner the keys to the jail? So it's been a lot of work on that, but that's come to fruition today. And I've just been to do the first session there where I can now draw keys and go back in. I talked about revolution just briefly before with the probation service. That's now become something called IOM, which stands for Integrated Offender Management. That's another link between police and probation, which we're involved with. And again, I'm for Recycling Lives. I'm the link that works with probation and the police, which was the same organisation that got me involved with the ACE Project all those years ago. So again, it's another example of coming full circle. So that's not in a nutshell at all. I can't do it short.
No, it shouldn't be done short.
But that is basically it.
And you're proud. You should be proud.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunities that people have given me. Colin at the Salvation Army didn't need to take a chance on me, but he did. Alistair's worked very, very hard. I mean, I know that I came and I I knew that I'd be capable of doing the job that I was employed to do. I'd already kind of proved that, but Alice has put a lot of faith and work with the ACE project to get me to where I've been today, and that wouldn't have happened elsewhere. So yeah, it's good, and it's good to be walking back into the prison today, and I know the officers in there, and they're pleased that I'm back in there, because when I was on G-Wing a couple of months ago, the senior officer on there said, I'm glad you're here, because they'll listen to you. They won't listen to me, but they'll listen to you. So that's good.
Brilliant to both of you.
Imagine that, full circle.
Full circle. Wow. That's a brief description of what just happened today. What a place you are building, and what a place, the amount of human quality that it's in there, in the warehouses, in the offices. Unbelievable. That will be my conclusion. What I think you are building, and yeah,
we're lucky, you know. We're privileged to do the work that we do. I have the opportunity to work with an amazing team who really care. So it doesn't matter which part of the organisation they're in, whether they're in the prison workshops, whether they're working in the food redistribution, whether they're doing the key work, ACE project, the cafe, whatever it is. Everybody's dedicated, and it's more than a job. If you're here just to do a job, you're in the wrong place. And I think we're really lucky in our organisation that people really want to make a difference. We have a little motto though, that we never leave a stone unturned. So if there's another way of helping someone, we'll try it. And so yeah, it's good. It's humbling work. It's great work. You get out of bed knowing that someone's going to get help somewhere along the day, and that's cool. And yeah, I think we do a decent job, and hopefully you've enjoyed your day.
it's been overwhelming in many senses, but very inspiring, and has given me a lot of food for thought. And that's what Recycling Lives is all about. Amazing.